We waited. We wanted to see where it ends and how far he takes it. But Akon City, and this is how it was labeled when it was first introduced to the world, by the way. I'm about to read this headline. This is how it was first introduced to the world. Akon City, a futuristic new homeland for African Americans. Homeland. Now looking back, how disrespectful was that? To think that you, Akon, can go build a city and it could become the homeland for Black Americans. That's crazy. That's honorable talking to her. Virginia says, I asked about the author Duke. As it appears, anybody attempting to write books about the dude's experiences either come up dead, Erica, Cam Porter, or have their reputation tarnished with their, hey. Oh, by the way, you can put links in the chat now. I had to enable it. At least on the thing that I'm using. Obviously on what's called, you could always do it. But now I will be able to click links immediately to get to it. But yeah. Okay. But Akon City was supposed to be for African Americans' new homeland. He holds a dual citizenship in America. He's Akon City was first announced in 2018. He claims that much of the pre-construction work was completed during COVID-19 lockdown, such as environmental studies, surveying, and zoning. A ceremonial foundation stone was unveiled in August of 2020. Senegal's Minister of Tourism attended the ceremony. However, in 2022, Akon investors filed a lawsuit against him over lack of any actual construction. In 2022, the BBC said that there were still no signs of construction and the site was instead full of goats. In May of 2023, Akon tweeted pictures of alleged construction occurring on the site. And now, as of today, singer Akon's failed futuristic city in Senegal ends up a $1 billion resort. So they pulled out, canceled it. I know it says Akon was over there promoting these Asians had influence in African American spaces. Well, as everyone was saying when he was promoting this, his biggest problem was he didn't make it a project or a passion project for Africa necessarily. And maybe it was because most of the interviews we saw was with American media, so I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. He kept mentioning Black Americans. He kept making this to be the place that he wants particularly Black Americans to attend or go to or visit or stay. And I thought that was not smart because it's on a continent and there's global. You could have went more of a global route, which is funny because that was his critique of T-Pain. He said T-Pain's sound, he kept it local in one way to be successful with his one demographic. He said T-Pain was supposed to be an even bigger artist if he would have opened it up to the world. Well, that's what you should have did, Akon. Instead of focusing on Negroes in America, you should have been trying to sell this to, I don't know, people in Senegal, the actual citizens there. But you know, Virginia said Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming. Craig says, damn, I was looking forward to visiting too. Yeah, we all were. I will say this. I'm going to be honest. I did want to see where it could go. I'm not going to say I always believed it would get built. I didn't think it would ever get built because what he was saying he was going to do versus what we were seeing. Like Travis used to say, it was just dust balls just floating around. There was nothing there. There was a couple streets, a couple buildings that weren't finished. At least this long. It took this long. I just knew it wasn't going to be finished, but I did want to see what it could become. But once I saw the videos he was putting out, or the illustrations, or the videos he was putting out to try and show what he wanted it to look like, I already knew, yeah, that's not happening. Anyway, was he talking to Regina? So we get to this one. Senegal scrapped R&B singer Akon's plan for a multi-billion-dollar city development on the country's Atlantic coast and opted for a scaled-back project that would rely on private funding. Now, that's ahead. Now, that's important. Private funding. Most of the land previously set aside for Akon City is back under state control after Akon failed to deliver on his project, according to the head of Senegal, Sapco Senegal. The plans to spend $665 billion CFA finance, turning the area into a tourism hub with hotels, apartments, and marina and Parmade, and the goal is to make a true engine of growth, according to the presentation shared by Sapco. So they got their land back, and they saying they're going the route of a resort. Mark, what up, Mark? He was hoping we would sell it. Don't think he had confidence in his own people. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, while he was going around talking about it, once again, I'll say, only interviews I saw from him talking about this was in American media. But in that, he kept mentioning Black Americans, where this is where y'all should want to go. This is the future. This is, yada, yada, yada. And it's just, he kept thinking that, like you said, that Black Americans, maybe he thought he could use whatever cultural currency he thought he had, with songs like Locked Up and stuff. Maybe he thought he had more cultural currency, and that him pushing this project that was supposed to be so inspirational, that he would have got more support from Black Americans. But from day one, people were calling him a scammer. So it never worked out. It never went the way he thought it would go. But he tried, I guess. This is the same article. Akon $6 million Senegal City project officially scrapped. They took the land back and they starting a resort. Now I'm wondering, will he have anything to do with the resort? They scrapped the project as far as the city, and it said most of the land have been given back to the city. So I don't know if all of it has. I think they're still going to keep him around, possibly. If I'm not mistaken, ain't he the one that supposedly have the Chinese sponsors? So he got the money behind him, if I'm guessing right. So I don't think they're going to completely move away from him being a part of this resort. And maybe it'll start as a resort, and then in the future, they'll go back to the city thing and try to flesh it out. Who knows? Virginia says it just hit me that Pan-Africanism is a type of religion that's out of touch with actual African and Negro relations. Some drink the Kool-Aid, not me though. Yeah, I said it's a religion because, and like I keep saying, it's a religion, and they kind of view continental Africans in particular, the Pan-Africans view them like they're the sheep, and Black Americans have to be the ones that go along and teach them. Like they're our flock, and they're ignorant and don't know what's going on. And we got to teach them unity. We got to teach them how to come together and stuff. And it's just, that is just it's not realistic. Anama says he got the load from those mentions. They trying to control that buying power narrative and direct us to Africa. Well, we see what Ghana was doing. Mark Gordon, just like Essence, they want to build off our institutions instead of building from the ground up. Virginia said religion and or a cult. You say something bad about some of the people they deem to be the respectful people, they definitely react in a way that's cultish. Then somebody posted this. I knew it was bad because the conservatives in particular, they definitely on his ass, calling him all type of scammers and stuff. But yeah, Akon's giant Wakanda grift comes to an end. Rap star Akon futuristic Wakanda inspired. And he did say that, so they're not being racist, that he called it Wakanda. Pan-African City in Senegal has officially been abandoned by Senegal 1,400 days after groundbreaking ceremony. This is the land. Good God. I could have sworn, though, there's a video on their page that shows way more building than this. I don't think this is the full amount that they built. I went to the Akon City page like last year, and they had streets and a few buildings. Like there was a little bit of something there. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's a wrong video or something. Honestly, not a religion when only the African American goofies practice it for grants, and everyone weaponizing it against them. Like I said last week, that dude said Pan-Africanism taught him to hate being a Black American, to despise that, because that word American is a part of it. When I saw there was people who call themselves Pan-Africanists and they get on social, these are Pan-Africanists. Go to their pages, they actually in the real world doing work with Pan-African agendas and stuff. And they get on social media and say loudly, yeah, I don't like Black Americans because they don't want to really destroy the system. You know, their Americanists make me not like them. I just say, hey man, if that's how you feel. Virginia says a lot of these groups operate like cults with worship of their so-called leader. Morris Science Temple and Noble Drew Ali comes to mind. Man, I remember when I was like 16, 17, I was looking at type of stuff up. The Morris people. I didn't never go into the Morris thing because I don't know. In the real world, the main way they kind of practiced that was the sovereign citizen situation, where they would say how North African Moorish people, we have a deal with the American government that we are sovereign citizens, yada, 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 which is them admitting that they had some part in the slave trade. I don't know why you want to claim that, but you know. But yeah, I never got into the Moor stuff, Moorish temple stuff. But I would say it was the AI. No, not the AI video. Let me check. There was another of him of a car, like it was point of view or POV car of them driving around what people thought was the city. Let me see if I can find it. If I lag right now, y'all apologies. Hold on. I'm about to get to it. Okay, no. I was thinking about another city called Atlantic City. That's a different city. They actually got buildings up there. I'm thinking about another city. My bad. Echo Atlantic is the one I was thinking about. Anyway, Virginia says the Pan-Africanists also don't want to tear up the system. Hence, Akon's story. Yeah, they're not gonna touch it much. Honorable says I keep seeing goofies on TikTok says they hate seeing Beyonce and Kendrick with the American flag, but proud to be Black Americans. Like, shut the fuck up, dummy. Once again, that's what the 1960s was introduced to us, a lot of Black political stuff, even though it existed before, but it became very mainstream Black America in the 60s. The Black Power, the Panther, the Black Pride, all that stuff popped up. And that was around the time where we were in the midst of trying to build this idea of, and it worked, of trying to build this Black American, not a Black America, but Black America identity. Well, you know, that's when you start hearing that whole idea of there's two Americas. There's Black America and there's White America. There's two separate Americas. And it led to people denying what was considered the white America. And part of white America was patriotism and the flag. And so that led to Black Americans having a Black American pride, which was really just Black pride. And then there was a very strong anti-American flag, the colors and all the other stuff. But that wasn't all of Black America, but that was the very big push in the Black Power movement. So that's why you hear a lot of Black people say, I'm proud to be Black American, but F that flag, you know. So it's this weird contradiction that exists within us. But we're proud to be here. We're proud of the stuff we've done here, but we're not proud of here, if that makes sense. Honorable says, I'm saying whatever you saw was AI. It was not that. No, you're right. It wasn't the same place. It wasn't Akon City. It was the other place that was they building. It's a totally different city they building. Mark Gordon says we still own Ebony and Jet. We need to keep investing in them. Boycott Essence. You sure? I thought Ebony and Jet was sold off to a white majority company. I'm gonna talk about that later. Anonymous says, unfortunately, Mark ChatGPT, nope, neither Ebony nor Jet is black owned anymore. Okay, you got it. Damn it. Yeah, Mark, they got it. Regina says, when you look deeper behind the scenes of all these movements, aren't they heavier on the immigrant side, less American? And Americans are duped because of skin associating program. I can't say that. I think when you look at the Black Power movement, especially at the top of it, yes, there were some, like Kwame Ture and all this stuff. There was a few people at the top of it that were immigrant backgrounds, but the grassroots of it, the building of it, was just Black American. So you could say that the people at the top who were other demographics or ethnicities definitely have some influence in this usurping of not being pro-American fully. That's possible, but I think it was a thing that was necessary back then, and even still now, when it comes to building an identity and establishing a strong culture. Unfortunately, we went away from our culture for the most part. We don't practice certain things we used to. We don't keep certain things traditional as we used to. And I think some people, as Honorable said last week, there was a lack of ethnic pride that might be returning. I saw today, I was watching a little bit of the Joe Budden podcast. Somebody put out a clip of Joe Budden, of the Joe Budden podcast, coming out, standing on that FBA ADOS stuff. Like, that's a big platform. Like I said earlier, that Essence Fest conversation, it's exploded the conversation when we talk about the FBA ADOS stuff. The fact that you have Joe Budden on the platform referring to Black American culture and standing on it and the disrespect that Black Americans are getting from other demographics, I think that's a big deal. I think by 2028, I want to see how far this goes. I'm gonna say the Black front facing is all we got now. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Yeah, they show how empty it was, and oh, here it go. Here's the video here. I'll mute the music because even the AI, it looks bad. Like, it's not even good AI. Like, the building, the architecture just looks strange. They don't even look like it's something that's only place you see buildings that look like this is like Dubai or something. See the resort. This is the original video they put out, obviously. We can fast forward through this. It just don't look don't even look good. I'm gonna say a round of applause for having that conversation at the top of the show, and lineage is ours. Hey man, Flip, who is Caribbean, and let me tell you, Queen's Flip from the Joe Budden podcast. Y'all might not know him. I'm pretty sure most of y'all do know him. A few years ago, Flip, and I'll be honest, Flip made really ratchet content, and I watched some of it. Arguments, fake fights, sometimes real fights and stuff. But he's like a Jerry Springer type content creator. A few years ago, Queen's Flip kept calling himself, Queen's Flip. That's his name, Regina. Queen's Flip. A few years ago, in his content, he used to always say he's Black American. I remember on his podcast when he used to interview people, he used to always challenge sometimes when he would have Hispanics or Asians come on his show. He would say, why do you say the N-word? Why do you say the N-word? We don't support that, yada, yada, yada. He referred to himself as Black American. And then years later, I didn't watch him as much by this time, he came out like, I'm Caribbean, I'm Jamaican and Haitian. And he was like, wait, for years, he said he was Black American. So now he's on the Joe Budden podcast, and Joe Budden in the last couple of months, have been making this Caribbean joke where he says, how you Caribbean? You're in New York. You don't know nothing about hip hop. This is what I'm saying, these Caribbean. He's making this joke. But it's becoming a thing now. Constantly make sure when Joe says certain things, he bring up FBA ADOS. he'll bring it up. He'll make Joe stand on it. Like, you're gonna say it, stand on it. And today, or whenever they recorded this, he stood on it. So shout out to him too. I'm gonna say it's been revealed that that an African American man, Kappa, was running Essence this year, and it is my heart. It makes so much sense why Target is still involved. It will be one of them saying F the community, get the money. Well, can we say also that Target, who the reason why their people are going against them is because they're getting rid of the DEI initiatives? Can we also say that the fact that they kept their contract with Essence, that they kept their contract? They could have ended their contract and say, hey, that's a DEI program or DEI initiative. We're not doing it no more. Trump said we ain't got to pay all that money. I mean, that's kind of commendable, maybe, that they actually kept their end of the deal and kept the funding for Essence. So it's two sides of that. And in fact, it was an African American man. It was a dude that ran it this year. So it wasn't even the woman. It wasn't even the African woman. Oh man. Speaking of paying tribute, I should have put this at the top, but I'm gonna do it now. Yes, it was an interview on YouTube. Ah man. Well, he got to get smoked too. But I want to take a break right quick and point this out. I want to send condolences and rest in peace to Mama Burks. Gospel pioneer Mama Burks, former lead soloist for the Mississippi Mass Choir, has joined the ancestors. What up? We need a scholar FBA book to define our premise: FBA political, FBA economic, FBA education, FBA food, FBA arts, FBA music. You mean culture then? That's just all culture. It should have already been defined. Changing the name shouldn't change much. That's Black American culture.